to Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on in the world, what's being talked about in hot topics, trending topics regarding celebrities. So thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate everyone for being here. I hope everyone's having a good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. But we're going to get straight into what's being talked about. Allow me a few seconds to get into my page to do my disclaimer. A lot's going on. A lot is going on. I say that all the time, but really, a lot is going on. So bear with me for 1 second so I can do my disclaimer to protect my page. Because all comments are alleged. Yes, they are. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Going live a little bit later than I normally do, but sometimes that happens. Just allow me 1 second. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for being here, everyone. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. We're going to get straight into what's being talked about. Okay. Okay, there we go. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate everyone for being here, tuning in, and supporting the channel. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone. Let's go ahead and get straight into the videos of what's being talked about.
Women, infants, and children, the nutrition program. For the American people. It means that tens of millions of American families will.
Hold on.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are now beginning day 30 of the Democrat shutdown. And as there are millions of Americans this morning that are embracing themselves for further pain and hardship, we'll highlight some of that this morning. The Democrats, incredibly, are showing no signs at all that they want to end their shutdown. Now, they'll have another opportunity today. The Democrats in the Senate will have their 15th opportunity to do the right thing. We're concerned that they won't. And if they reject this for the 15th time, they will be ensuring that this shutdown continues past the November 1st deadline. And that is a fateful deadline for a number of reasons. Starting on Saturday, let me give you a list of things that this means for the American people. It means that tens of millions of American families will struggle to keep food on the table because the SNAP program benefits will run dry. It means that WIC assistance, that's women, infants, and children, the nutrition programs, will be at risk of running dry. It means that Head Start centers, which serve 60,000 children nationwide, will be at risk of closure. Millions of federal workers, and we've listed them here every day. You're talking about air traffic controllers and TSA agents and park rangers and border patrol agents, law enforcement around the country. The stewards of our nuclear arsenal will miss their paychecks. Thousands of flights by result will be canceled or delayed, while our borders and national security will be directly jeopardized at a very dangerous moment in world history. And our country will lose tens of billions in gross domestic product. With each passing day, the pain gets more real, and the Democrats are guaranteeing when they vote to reject our clean funding resolution. We expect they will do that again today for the 15th time. They are showing no shame whatsoever in their actions. Now, just as we clearly know what is happening, which we've recounted here every morning, the American people can never forget. We also clearly know why it's happening. And I brought a few friends. We brought some colleagues here from the state of New York and New York City to share with you about some of what's going on here. Back in March, this is very clear what happened. Let me summarize very briefly as I can. Back in March, Chuck Schumer voted for the clean CR, the same measure that's on the floor now. He did the right thing, and he went on the floor of the Senate, and he gave an impassioned speech of why we could never inflict all this pain on the American people. He meant it from his heart, and he was consistent in what he had done over his 44 years in Congress, always voting to fund the government. But when he did the right thing in March, he received an onslaught of criticism from the far left base in the Democrat Party.
Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Let's get the likes up, you guys. 40 people in the building. Please double tap the screen. If you're watching from a phone, please double tap the screen to get the likes up. To hit the like button is free. 40 people. The like should match the views. Thank you. Please hit the like button and thank you.
He almost lost his job. Many of you wrote about it. He was in jeopardy of not winning his next reelection. That's how serious it was. So Chuck Schumer got a bunch of consultants and staff in a back room, and they concocted a plan, a political stunt, and they determined right then that the next time there was a funding measure, no matter how meritorious and no matter how much it would cause pain to the American people, that he would vote against it. He would show a fight to President Trump so he could save his skin. It's exactly what happened. He did this so he could prove to his base that he's showing a fight. And as a result of this charade, he has brought the Democrats to their lowest point in decades. Literally, the Democratic Party has its lowest approval rating. Democrats in Congress have their lowest approval rating ever in the history of polling. The labor unions, working class Americans, independents are fleeing his party, and they are coming to the party of common sense because they see us here trying to solve these problems. They see us here voting over and over and over to fund the government and give them their paychecks, and they see the Democrats dug in against it. And now Chuck Schumer is desperately trying to cling to power. Unfortunately, when you make decisions out of fear and political desperation, you have already lost control. And the new power center in the Democrat Party is one that should frighten every common sense American. The radical socialist wing is rising. It is led by people like AOC and Bernie Sanders. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer know this. They're smart politicians in that way. They can feel the political winds, and they know that they have to continue to act belligerently in order to gain the favor of the far left. It's their own political survival that they had put in front of the needs of the entire country. Let me say that again. The Democrat leaders in the Senate and the House have put their own political survival in front of the needs of the American people. Exhibit A is Zohran Mamdani. New York City, America's largest city, the cradle of capitalism that has always been, is facing a real crisis right now. They've got a 34-year-old, unproven, untested socialist who looks to be the next mayor. He may well be elected. Mamdani winning New York City would be the biggest win for the Marxists, the socialists, in the history of this country. We have, to this point, in nearly 250 years, been able to hold off those kinds of ideas. We've been able to cling to the foundational principles of America, the ideas of individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity. All those things are in jeopardy when the Marxists take over. And it's the clearest sign yet that the Democrats' radical Marxist wing is winning the battle for control of their party. Look at where the energy is. This should be alarming to everyone around the country. Mamdani has a course called to defund the police, to abolish all prisons, to legalize prostitution. He lambasted the New York Police Department as a racist system. And you might have seen, if you in the media are covering this, but there was a new video uncovered from 2023, just 2 years ago, and he said, quote, "We have to be clear, when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. Look, it's a unique talent to merge one's loathing for American law enforcement with their loathing for the Jewish people. But this guy's, he's managed to do it. New York is just the tip of the iceberg. It's not isolated to America's largest city. It's other cities as well. Look at Seattle, where the leading candidate for mayor is an open socialist. Look at Minneapolis, where the sitting socialist mayor is facing a challenge from his left flank. And look here in Congress, where we have our own wing of Marxist acolytes serving here. Amazingly, the media is criticizing Republicans for fixating on Mamdani. I read some of that yesterday. This socialist uprising is something that we have a responsibility to call out and sound the alarms. That's what elected representatives of the people are supposed to do, and we take that responsibility seriously. And obviously, Mamdani is a big issue here in the halls of Congress. Why? Because the second highest-ranked Democrat in the country, Leader Jeffries, endorsed him. They're making Mamdani a mainstream Democrat now. This party has left the people. Of course, the press wants us to ignore Mamdani. Here, it's an embarrassment because most of the press is on the side of the Democrats. They don't want us to talk about that, but we have to. Because by endorsing Mamdani, Hakeem Jeffries has endorsed and co-owned his positions, his past statements, his Marxist playbook, and everything else that guy espouses. And so, too, does every single House Democrat who will be inviting their leader, Jeffries, to their campaigns and to their districts next year, every single one of them at every campaign stop should be asked, what do you think about Mamdani? What do you think about his positions? While House Democrats court Marxists in New York, Senate Democrats have chosen to shut down the government over and CR. It's the first time in the history of this country, that any party has done that, had the audacity to shut the government down over a totally clean, nonpartisan funding measure.
As a working mother of two,
like the video, fair use reaction clip. Please hit the like button. As you double tap the screen, you'll get the thumbs up to hit the like. As you double tap the screen, you'll get the thumbs up, hit the like. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Don't forget to subscribe.
We're a totally clean, nonpartisan funding measure.
And thank you.
They're bowing to the demands of their far left base, and no one can deny that. The facts are very clear. The American people are intelligent. They understand what's happening here. We pray that the Democrats, at least a handful of centrists, if there are any moderates left in the Democrat Party in the Senate, we pray that they will come to their senses and they will do the right thing by the American people, that they will stop all the pain, and that they will reopen the government. As I mentioned on Saturday, things are going to become very dire. There is one way out of this, the easy way, the obvious way, and that is for the Democrats to do their job and vote for the CR. I mentioned we brought some of our good friends and colleagues here from New York to talk about the mess that the Democrats have created in the Empire State. Now, why are we focusing on New York? Because, again, it's a bellwether for the rest of the nation. If you're watching at home, you need to understand the dynamics of what's happening in New York, because you have to ensure that it doesn't happen in your city, in your town, in your state. And these folks are watching this, and they're fighting it. Our Republicans in New York are trying to hold the line. They're trying to defend what is great about this extraordinary and exceptional nation that we have. But they have a lot of headwinds, and they're here to share how this reckless shutdown is impacting everyday New Yorkers. And I'm delighted to bring up to the podium, before we get our leadership reports here, one of my dear friends and colleagues and classmates back from the 115th Congress when we came in as freshmen together, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, who is from the 22nd District of New York. She does an extraordinary job here for her state and for the country. Claudia, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues. I actually hail from the 24th District, a little bit of we've had some redistricting in upstate New York a couple of times, but I just want to say good morning and thank you again to my colleagues for being here. This is really important, and I wish I could say that I am surprised by what we're witnessing, but this is exactly what happens when the Democratic Party surrenders to its most radical fringe. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries lack the political courage to stand up to the Marxist, anti-Semitic, anti-law enforcement base led by Mamdani now, AOC, and Bernie Sanders. Schumer and Jeffries are both weak leaders from New York, and specifically New York City, where they have never had to face serious political opposition and have enjoyed nothing but glowing praise from their friends in the media. They are ill-suited to lead the Democratic Party at the national level. It is on dramatic.
So let's play these real quick. Hold on one second.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 28 of the Democrat shutdown. We're almost a month into this, and we wanted to highlight a couple of things and a few members this morning. There are some very important developments. But before we get to all that, second round.
The White House is able to find funding for the military, for WIC, for farmers. Should the White House now be able to find some funding for the SNAP program if they've done it for all these other ones?
They certainly tried. I mean, one of the reasons that this shutdown has not yet been as painful as it might otherwise have been is because the president is bent over backwards, the administration. Think of it this way. The White House, the executive branch in a shutdown, has a large control panel full of dials. Under the Obama administration, they turned those dials, the pain dials, to 10 immediately. You remember it was so egregious to us, speaking of our veterans. I mean, they put yellow crime tape around the World War II memorial so that people who'd served their country could not go visit the memorial. They wanted it to hurt. The Democrats, good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 28 of
Next clip.
Democrats have shown, and they've said in their own words, this is leverage. It gets better for them every day. They don't mind inflicting pain on the American people if they can somehow get some sort of political points out of it. The Republican Party is the opposite. President Trump has proven that. Every day of this shutdown, he has tried to move funds around to find unobligated funds to cover the bases, to get the troops paid in the middle of October, and to make sure that WIC funding is not resolved. You know how he's getting women, infants, and children funding done? They did some very creative legal research I've quite admired. They found a statute in the 1930s that they could use to say that some of the tariff revenue could be used to cover nutrition because so much of that was transported over the border. So they've done some creative, amazing things to mitigate, to lessen the pain as much as possible. We've been out all over the country, all these Republicans, I mean, Craig Goldman flew in here to do this press conference with us, but he's been in Texas serving his constituents. Stephanie Bice been in Oklahoma. Harriet Hageman's been out, have shown, and they've said in their own words, this is left west. You got Burgess Owens out in Utah. They've been serving their constituents, and August Fluger, but they came in to help us articulate what's going on. All that effort has mitigated the pain, but we're running out of the resources. We want to fund SNAP, but they did the legal research and they could not find a 1930s era statute to bootstrap that one. The contingency fund was approved by Congress. And when the Democrats voted against the CR, they voted against the ability of us to use that money. And so 42 million people are going to suffer because they're playing political games. There's nothing, the White House has run out of it. They have all the pain dials turned back to just a 0 or a 1 as best they can. But when you're out of resources, they go all the way up. And it's out of their hands. It's out of our hands, and that's why we're so frustrated. You don't see the happy warrior Steve Scalise pound the podium very often. But we're angry about this. We're frustrated. We should be, because it's wrong for the people, and all you should be angry about it as well. I know many of you are. Get ready. West, you got Burgess Owens out in Utah. They've been served. Yes.
You said that there are legislative solutions. Obviously, you said that New Jersey should have the contingency fund, but come the weekend,
good afternoon.
Tens of millions of Americans will go hungry. Are you getting a sense from your Democratic colleagues that the pain of that and other aspects of the
many Americans will go hungry?
My Democratic colleagues are united in the fact that Trump and the administration can do this, not this weekend, tomorrow, today, right away. Every Democrat is a sponsor of Lujan's bill, and that's how we feel. Yes.
Thank you so much. Irrespective of the dispute on whether USDA contingency funds can be used for SNAP benefits.
It is not, wait a minute, excuse me. It is not a dispute. It is fact they can use it, and the Republicans say it.
Okay, but there's, only 5 or 6 billion, and it's not cost $8 billion monthly just to administer. I mean, if anything, it would only last.
It does not cost 5 or 6 billion to administer. There's enough money to start feeding people right away. Yes.
Next clip.
Billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2-3 weeks, you're going to cut holes then?
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things, 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2-3 weeks, you're going to cut holes then?
If it lasts
the bottom
2-3
line
weeks.
is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money,
and
they're using it for other things, money for Argentina, and all this money for other things, they have enough money to keep funding SNAP, and they know it. And I just want to say what Lujan said. Johnson just lies. He lied about on immigration, on the undocumented. He's lying about this. He just outright lies, plain and simple. It is not illegal, and his own president has done it. Yes.
I'm picking up as being indicated if there's any conversation, any negotiation whatsoever happening behind the scenes. If so, you would like not have
Yeah, there are occasional talks between Democrats and Republicans on this issue, but our Republican colleagues don't seem to be offering anything different than what their leadership has had so far. We hope that will change. Yes.
Understand what you're saying about Republicans not being able to pass. Are you saying Democrats have no responsibility for the fact that
We are saving money for Argentina and all this money for other things. They have enough money to keep funding
Next clip.
We are saying the Republicans can fund it now, and they're using these people as hostages. Plain and simple. Next. That's the answer. The answer is they can fund it right now. Okay? Right now. And by the way, we don't want to pit healthcare and food. They do. We think you can have both. Yes.
On SNAP and on the ACA, Leader Spoon said yesterday he had just spoken to President Trump that the president would be willing to sit down next week to talk about ACA subsidies. Is that an acceptable offer for you? If the government opens, by the way, is that an acceptable offer for you?
We've always said, they always say, do it later. Do it later. Later, to quote Martin Luther King Jr. in his letter from the Birmingham jail, means never. They have had since March to do this. They've voted 3 times against it. So this idea, do it later, been there, done that. We have to do it now. The window opens. Thank you, everybody. We are saying the Republicans can fund it money. Billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
what happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2-3 weeks, is it a pass hold then?
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things.
So let's continue with the news. Our government, a hot mess. Some of them should not even be there. They're too old. Real talk. They're too old. Decisions need to be made by young people. You should be able to be 34 to maybe 60, 65. That's about it. Let's continue. Fair use. Let's get the likes up. There's about 65 people in the building.
With each passing day of this tragic shutdown, they have traded true leadership for appeasement, responsibility for disorder, and principle for political survival. This shutdown is their choice. They've surrendered to radicals funded by dark money groups pushing anti-police, anti-Israel, anti-American garbage. Now the country is paying the price.
I know other countries are looking at us and laughing. What a joke. What country lets their people go hungry and different programs being canceled or removed? I know other countries are laughing at us because these people can't come together. Did y'all see my video yesterday where he said it's the president's job to keep everybody together? And if there is a shutdown, it's his responsibility? That was yesterday. So let's continue with the news. Like the video as y'all come in. There's about 76 in the building. Please hit the like button. All you have to do is double tap the screen and then there'll be a thumbs up to like the video. It's so concerning. I know other countries are laughing at us. What a joke.
I served with Hakeem Jeffries in the New York State Legislature. He sat right next to me. I've seen this playbook before, as have my colleagues in New York who also served in the legislature. It is the same corrupt Albany routine. Reward insiders, punish taxpayers, and blame everybody else. Today, it is something far worse. A movement run by socialist, Marxist activists. I don't like to call them socialists, they're really Marxist, and extremist networks. And they have hijacked the Democratic Party. And as the speaker pointed out, just look at Zoran Mandami, a member of the state assembly, by the way. He actually defeated a fairly liberal member of the assembly, who is in a narrow election, but there he is in the state assembly. He is the face of the new far left coalition, and make no mistake about it, the new leader of the New York Democratic Party. His campaign is not grassroots. It's bankrolled by Soros money, radical clerics, and communists working together to push a Marxist agenda in America's largest city. Schumer and Jeffries will not stand up to this movement. We've seen this because, as the speaker pointed out, they're terrified of it. They have built their political survival on appeasing the far left, and now our entire country is being held hostage by it. They cannot open the government without angering the radicals who radically run their party. The Democratic Party is now controlled, as I said, by the Marxist activists, dark money donors. This is not a grassroots effort. And anti-American ideology is dominating this. And they would rather destroy the system than to lose power. And unfortunately, Leader Jeffries and Leader Schumer are just succumbing to this. New Yorkers are already paying the price, and we have been paying the price. From Albany's Medicaid for Illegal scheme to Mondami's socialist city agenda, working families are being crushed under taxes, mandates, and ideology. And if we don't stand up, the damage will not end at the Hudson. It will reach every corner of upstate New York and across this country. We are here to fight for the men and women who build, farm, serve, and raise families across New York and our nation. They are the backbone of this nation, and they deserve a government that works for them, not the political insiders who have created this mess. So my message to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries is simple. Stop playing games. Stop bowing to this mob and reopen our government. Pay our troops, fund essential services, and start putting American families, and especially in my case and my colleagues here, New York families first. And my message to New Yorkers is this. Speak out, reject this radicalism that has taken over not just our city, but will take over our state. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the moment.
Like, like the video, fair use.
Well, thank you, Claudia, and my other colleagues from New York for coming. And it's so sad.
There's about 112 in the building. Let's get the likes up, you guys. The likes should match the views. Please like the video. Thanks for watching. 120. All you have to do is double tap the screen. The thumbs up button will come up. Thanks for being here.
See what's happened to that great state of New York. But if you go back to November, when President Trump won an overwhelming victory to come back as president, defeating Kamala Harris, winning every one of the 7 swing states. In those months after, what you saw was this internal conflict within the Democrat Party. Who is the head of the Democrat Party? You heard it over and over. Some people are trying to raise their hand. A very, very weak bench of failed leaders, primarily governors from failed states, wanting to jump ahead of everybody else and claim the title. And yet, as the Democrat Party stayed that rudderless ship for months and months, because of this perfect storm, that the 2 top Democrat leaders in the House and Senate both hail from the state of New York. With the emergence now of Zohran Mamdani, you have seen Zohran Mamdani quickly become the new head of the Democrat Party nationally. Because Chuck Schumer, who is the head Democrat in the Senate, and Hakeem Jeffries, who's the head Democrat in the House, both hailing from New York, are scared to death of that far-left extremist, radical, socialist, Marxist movement in their own party, starting in New York. And because Mamdani has taken off there, it is affecting real people everywhere in America. Devastating consequences. We've talked about it over and over. You know, the last few weeks, we talked about the pain, the suffering that Democrats were causing to especially federal workers, our troops, air traffic controllers, every other federal worker who wasn't getting paid. Some, President Trump found ways to get paid. Others, there weren't ways to do the same thing, but the president worked overtime. Look at what the president did working overtime, at least doing his job, in China this morning. A historic trade deal with China announced, where they resolved some issues on tariffs. Our soybean farmers are going to be able to sell more of their products into China. Critical minerals that we'll be able to get. All of those things President Trump continues to do while Democrats want to try to spew chaos around the country. But the harm to families, as we've been talking about, while real, is unfortunately going to get worse. And we've been telegraphing this for weeks, pleading with our Democrat colleagues in the Senate. Just five Democrats need to get the courage to end the shutdown. And only they can do it. They know that. And what are those consequences? We've been talking for weeks. Coming this weekend, Saturday, 42 million SNAP beneficiaries will lose those benefits. Those cards are going to go to zero. when they go to the grocery store to try to put food on the table, there will be no money in those accounts. And what is Chuck Schumer going to tell those families? It's no longer hypothetical. It's no longer theoretical. It's real suffering and pain, and they know that. We've given you the quotes over and over these last few weeks. They admit they are causing suffering. They're using the American people for leverage, and they just don't care.
So could you imagine the overwhelming concern that's going to be for the DHS offices to reactivate all those accounts? They're probably going to have to go through so many documents to reactivate people. So they definitely need to find this money before today, tomorrow. Could you imagine the offices of people? They're going to have to go in, reapply. You know how much paperwork that is? So they need to find the money immediately.
But I think they're going to start hearing more and more from people. Here's some people we've been hearing from. An advocate, who's retired U.S. Army Sergeant Eric Donahoe said this, quote, "The decision to vote against advancing the CR is now causing financial harm to families who serve this country." He went on to say, quote, "When I spoke with Democratic staffers that I know they called this shutdown a political opportunity. They think the more Americans hurt, the more power they gain. They even bragged about it," Donahoe said. Quote, "This isn't a headline to us. It's rent, it's groceries, it's mental health, it's stability." And of course, you've heard just a few days ago with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association and the American Federation of Government Employees demanding that Democrats pass the clean CR. More and more, you're seeing this growing chorus of people from all corners, including Democrat corners, telling their own party leaders, stop this madness, end the madness, and vote to open the government. But again, this weekend, it gets even more painful, more suffering that they will impose if they keep this madness up. And so I'm going to try to find 5 Democrat senators. It's all we need is 5. So let's start with John Ossoff in Georgia. Starting this weekend, over 1.3 million enrollees in SNAP in his home state of Georgia lose their benefits. 1.3 million, Senator.
Do people really realize that there are federal workers that are not even getting paid? Yes, you can go buy yourself a steak. Yes, you can go to the dentist and pay your cash. Do you, boo? There are people that are working, and it helps their family if they have assistance. It's not just people that are not working. There are people that are working that are getting the assistance as well. If you understand the bill, it also talks about people have to work a certain amount of hours. You have to be a certain age. So there are people that are not working, and there are people that are working that are getting the benefits. It's not just people that are not working. People, come on. That might be a distraction, though.
What are you going to tell those families if you vote no today? If you vote to take their food?
And and I'm going to keep playing this clip. For people that are just coming in, listen to this, though.
A lot of money, and they're using it for other things. $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out?
What happens when it runs out?
3 weeks, you're gonna cut the whole thing.
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things, $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane, who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2, 3 weeks, you're gonna cut the whole thing.
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period.
They also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things.
This Epstein stuff, these files, has been a huge issue. All that stuff should have been released when he went to jail. Real talk. This is a huge issue. Why this country protects weirdos. Weirdos. I want to say the P word, but I can't. It trips me out when you go through the trial in regards to Diddy. Certain celebrities were protected. Cassie's guys were outed. Diddy's friends were not outed. Some of these people got into this position saying they're going to release the files, and they're not. And they haven't.
And they're using it for other things. 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we?
So I'm glad she said it, because many of us felt that that's the reason why they don't want to open up the government.
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using...
So as adults are saying, get up and work. There's kids that are in school. They shouldn't have to be worried about food being put on the table. There are parents that are out there standing in food lines for 2 hours trying to get extra assistance because the money needs to go towards rent. So when people come in here and act like you want to go get your steak, go get your steak. Go get your teeth fixed. People are trying their best to take care of their children and their families. And when you hear that they could pass it, and it gives them the 3 weeks, but there's so much mind games and distractions that's going on, and it affects the children. So don't come in these comments acting like people need to get up and work. Kids can't work. Don't come up in these comments. Don't come up in these comments. Kids can't work. Think about the children. Your grown butt want to go get a steak. Go get a steak. Out of my comments. People are ridiculous. Think about the children. It's not just about that.
Again, that's what your vote means today. 109,000 federal workers in his state of Georgia. Of course, the largest airport in America is in his home state of Georgia, and they're already experiencing flight delays in Atlanta.
Let's get the likes up. There's about 110 people in the building. So now y'all know the truth of what's really happening. They would then have to Epstein files again. I'm glad she said it.
Women, infant, and children will lose their benefits in Senator Ossoff's home state of Georgia if he votes no today. Think about them when you're casting that vote. Senator Warner in Virginia, 825,000 SNAP enrollees in his home state of Virginia, 189,000 federal workers. Don't come up here and give some speech lamenting about the hardships those people are facing when you're the one voting to impose those hardships. You can stop that today by voting yes. 107,000 women, infant, and children will lose their benefits in Virginia if Senator Warner votes no. Tina Smith in Minnesota, 452,000 enrollees in the SNAP program, 33,000 federal workers, and 101,000 women, infant, and children in Minnesota will lose their benefits if Tina Smith votes no today. Gary Peters in Michigan, over 1.4 million enrollees in SNAP. No food stamp benefits this weekend to 1.4 million Michiganders. 56,000 federal workers, 189,000 women, infant, and children will go without food this weekend in Michigan. if Senator Peters votes no. Senator Sheehan, in New Hampshire, 76,000 enrollees in SNAP, 9,000 federal workers, and 12,000 women, infant, and children will go hungry in New Hampshire if Senator Sheehan votes no. I could go on with more and more of these. All we need is 5. That's 5 right there. If they get the courage, they don't have to impose that pain on families. But the only way this suffering is prevented is if they come to their senses and vote yes. We all know the math. We all know it's needed. But it's not just math. It's millions and millions of families across this country that will truly suffer and go without food. If they vote no today, it's a straightforward vote. We've all voted yes and passed it through the House over a month ago. End the madness and pass this bill. Our whip Tom member.
We are officially 30 days into the Democrats' needless government shutdown. 30 days that millions of federal workers have gone without a paycheck. 30 days that critical telehealth services and in-home hospital care programs have been put on pause for the vulnerable Americans who need it most. 30 days that our national security has been put at risk due to staffing shortages. Not to mention the SNAP benefits that you heard our leader go through in detail that will be cut off for more than 40 million low-income Americans if the Democrats fail to reopen the government before Saturday. It's been 30 days of pure obstruction from Democrat lawmakers who care more about appeasing the radical Mamdani and Omar Fata wing of their party than reopening the government for the people they were elected to serve. Americans are hurting. Families are turning to food banks. Major airports are issuing ground stops. But the Democrats don't care. In fact, they've orchestrated this chaos by refusing to support our nonpartisan government funding bill 14 times now. And for what? So that they can kowtow to the people like Kami. And I will just say to my great friend and colleague, Claudia Tenney, socialists are now the moderates in my grandfather's Democrat Party. These are communists and Marxists. They are kowtowing to the people like Kami Mamdani ahead of the election. People are struggling in the meantime to put food on the table, and the Democrats are too busy playing politics to do anything about it. It's disgusting, and it needs to end. I say it every day when we do this. Remember, all we need is 5 Senate Democrats to come to their senses, break ranks with Chuck Schumer, support our clean CR, and reopen the government. It's past time for Democrats in Congress to get serious and do their jobs for the people they were elected to serve, not for the communist mayoral candidate in New York City, our conference chair.
Kami Mamdani, that might stick. That might stick. Yeah, the truth hurts, right? Works. All right. Well, this Saturday, SNAP benefits run out for 42 million Americans. 42 million Americans, the SNAP benefits will run out.
Give me a frame around the lens, and it has...
Let's get the likes up, you guys. 81 people, 11 votes. The likes should match the views. As you're commenting, you should also be hitting the like. Double tap the screen, thumbs up, please, and thank you. Let's get the likes up on the video. To hit the like button is free. To hit the like button is free. I'm spending my time. No super chats, no likes. Let's get the likes up, and thank you. Please double tap the screen to get the likes up. It's the thumbs up video. Thank you. It helps my page, and it's free to hit the like.
42 million families, including thousands in my home state of Michigan, could lose the ability to put food on the table for their families. Why? Because Democrats choose to use their pain and their hunger as leverage. Leverage for more wasteful spending, leverage to satisfy their radical base. And what are Republicans doing? Republicans did their job and are going to continue to do our job. We voted for a clean, responsible bill to keep the government open and fully fund SNAP. So let me be very clear. Republicans voted to continue funding for SNAP and continue to have families have the ability to feed their families. Democrats voted to take food off the table and voted to discontinue SNAP benefits. It is that simple. Democrats voted to shut it down, and they voted to deny food assistance to 42 million Americans. And they voted that way.
So you have one talking about the files and one not talking about the files. So who do you believe?
Out of money, and they're using it for other things. 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts...
What happens when it runs out?
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things, 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions
Let's
for
continue.
Times. Just so y'all didn't get confused, they wanted to make sure that they rubbed it in your face more than a dozen times that they wanted to stop the SNAP benefits. Not just once, not just twice. They wanted to make doggone sure you knew they voted more than a dozen times to kill the SNAP benefits, to take food off your table. Just so you're clear. And let's remember, they did it, and let's make sure that we don't forget, and let's make sure we remind them who voted to keep food on the table and who voted to take food off the table. Because at some point in time, they're going to reverse what they're talking about and do what they normally do, and that's try and blame us. But let's hold them accountable for once to the votes that they've taken. I can assure you I will. I met one of these recipients last weekend while I was volunteering at a food bank in St. Clair County. His name was Jim. Jim's wife is a teacher, and he's a retired auto worker. They rely on SNAP to help groceries. Jim waited in line for more than 3 hours because he knows he won't be getting his benefits. That's what he told me. But you know what he told me? I thought this was very insightful. He told me, thank you. He told me, thank you for all you're doing to keep the government open. He also told me to please talk to our senators and ask them, since they voted, campaigned on being moderates and reaching across the aisle, to fulfill their campaign promises and stop using families like Jim as leverage and care about the people that they were elected to represent. I also spoke with a woman who recently lost her husband. She's now raising her grandkids and told me she's never needed help before, but now she's struggling to afford groceries. These are real people struggling, real people that Republicans are actually fighting for, and real people that I am fighting for. Jim is not leverage. Jim is a person with a family to feed. Open up the government and stop using Jim and his family as leverage to kowtow to your radical political base. Do what you know is right and what you have said is right, and open up the government. A farmer back home once told me, when you're not hungry, you have a lot of problems. When you're hungry, you have one. Right now, families on SNAP have a problem, and that problem should never, ever be used as political leverage. So Republicans, we're going to keep on working, and we're going to keep on fighting. And you know what? We will keep showing up. And while we keep demanding that Democrats stop using suffering Americans as pawns in their political games, I implore my 2 senators, do what you said you were going to do. Do what you said that you are. You've reached across the aisle. You're moderates. You care about people. Well, show that in your actions and vote for a clean CR for families like Jim who you represent. Please. They are counting on you, and every no vote means that you are keeping food from their table. So please, it is time to pass the clean CR and actually put the people who you represent, Americans, first. Thank you.
With a shield level pay plus annuity.
Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. If you're just now coming in, this is what's really going on.
Billions, a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. 20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to have
What happens if it runs
The
out?
bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6.
So let's get to Kamala. Kamala is telling on Joe now. Let's get to that.
There were times where Joe Biden greatly disappointed me, and frankly, angered me. Like
now she want to speak up.
Trump, the stakes were so high, and the president calls, and he said to me, it just was so unnecessary.
And you took something from...
Like the video, like the video.
Was all about himself.
Do you think he wanted you to win the election? I'm vice president. There's nothing you said I couldn't ask you.
Because I have a lot to say, and so, fuck it.
Okay, so do you wish you hadn't ran?
No, but I do regret that we did not have more time.
And then the debate that came before with Biden and Trump, it was a car crash. I mean, this was clear.
Like the video, like the video.
He didn't want that debate. I could tell something was a little off.
How'd you know?
Well, I could start with this.
And what about Joe Rogan's show?
I definitely regret that we didn't do it. But there's a lot of games being played.
And then on that night when the election hasn't gone your way, what would I have seen if I was a fly on the wall in the room?
I was in a state of shock. Like, I haven't felt anything similar to the emotion I felt that day, other than the grief I felt when my mother died. And I knew what was going to happen to our country. So I had a hard time reconciling that we can't still do something about it, because I grew up in an environment...
Like the video, like the video.
...for equality. So I do think about how different it could have been. But sometimes the fight takes a while.
Does that mean that you're going to run again?
Okay, so everybody talked about, let's be general. I support what I support. I do what I do. Everybody was talking about her interviews, the word salad. How she was speaking and conveying herself wasn't healthy. People weren't going to vote for her. Period. If you were doing what you needed to do within those 4 years that you guys were there, people would have voted for her. But when she would do interviews and she would have conversation, we weren't getting the answers out of her. Even normal everyday people can speak more knowledgeable, more clear, more understanding. If we have a vice president that can't form sentences and make sense to the American people, people aren't going to vote for you, sweetie. And then go back and listen to what her campaign manager had to speak about. You had celebrities. I'm not even going to go there about the one celebrity throwing up different signals. Go back and watch. Go back and watch the celebrity she had that was throwing up signals. You had people on stage. You had Beyonce's. You had how many celebrities? That was your focus? Entertainment? You wanted to spark the conversation and you wanted to do entertainment for celebrities that were trending in the news in not a lot of good ways. So let's be very clear. There's many distractions, and if you know, then you know. But people were like, heck no. We should have had somebody else outside of her. Real talk. If you're not making sense in interviews and you're being repetitive and you're not making sense and you're pointing the finger at him and you're not making things clear, people were not going to vote for her. Real talk. Go back and listen to what her campaign manager said, and they spent how much money on entertainment in regards to celebrities that were so problematic and that were being dragged in the media for how they handled themselves. You made choices, sister, and you picked celebrities that were problematic and had concerns in the media, and they were happy to be the entertainment to distract away from what they had going on. What a mess. What a mess 4 years ago. What a mess now. What a mess. I know other countries are laughing at us. Let's continue. Like the videos, you guys come in. Let's see what he has to say. Like the videos, you guys come in. 14 likes. Let's get the likes up, you guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Well, let's continue with the news. So many concerns. It's funny. And then we heard what she had to say of why they don't want to do certain things. These Epstein files, and that's the other thing too. Why was he the only one in jail when there were so many different government official males that was assisting and being around him? Why was he the only? What is wrong with our country? The Epstein and her, what's her name? Gustine Maxwell. Why were those two the only one put in jail? There should have been way more people, like 120, 130, 200 people. Why does this country protect weirdos? Let's continue. What a mess. What a mess.
But more traditionally, car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now, and they're coming from China. They're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada, but they're coming into our country because they want to build here, and they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here, and number two, the tariffs are protecting them, and number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President, in light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats?
So religious liberty is so important, and we're talking about every religion now, and we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done, and we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. It will get somebody else. The problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system. I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt.
Let's continue with hot topics, trending topics. So there's that. Okay, this is what Kim is saying. She claims that Buzz gotten, let's see, I don't have my glasses on. She doesn't think that he landed on the moon. Let's see. She claims that Buzz gotten old. She's seen clips of the astronaut admitting I don't have my glasses on, landing didn't happen. So she feels that it didn't happen. Those Kardashians love drama conflicts. They love the benefits and embarrassment. Do y'all realize she's put her daughter in situations and she loves to talk in certain ways? She wants to push products for y'all to make her richer. And now she's saying this. Why? Who asked her this question? Whether or not he landed. And us, people are going to think she's crazy. And she thinks it's fake. She thinks it's fake. Why is she talking? And you get that. Why is she not talking about people not being fed? Just the other day, I saw her with a purse that was so expensive. She is so out of touch. She is so out of. And then she is blaming her ex for her health concerns. So it's not your work schedule. It's not the businesses you hold. It's not that you try and trend and go viral every week. She wants to blame her ex-husband for her health concerns. She wants to blame a black man for her health concerns. So it's not your work schedule. It's not how y'all want to trend and go viral. It's not the stress of raising 4 kids. Where's Kanye? Has anybody seen Kanye? You got to also realize too, I'm going to say this. Was Kanye close to Charlie Kirk? And is he mourning a friend or did he separate himself from Charlie Kirk? I don't know. But if Kanye has been quiet, it might be that he is mourning the loss of his friend. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how cool Kanye has been. So you got Kim talking about Kanye, and then you got Candace Owen talking about Kanye. And Kanye's been quiet. Where's Kanye? Kanye goes through periods where he is quiet, then he does interviews, and he's very vocal. You got Kim talking about Kanye 2 weeks ago, and you got Candace Owens constantly talk about Kanye. And Kanye hasn't said anything at all. Where's Kanye? She dragged him in that interview. Oh, he would buy Lamborghinis and then he would give it to his friends. If it's his money, he has the right to do that. If it's his money, he could do whatever he wants. Maybe it was a birthday gift, maybe it was to thank them. Whatever he wanted to do with his money, it was up to him. Kanye went through a lot about 2 years before his divorce. Then he went through a lot since his divorce. I think Kanye and the Candace thing is a concerning thing. Go back and listen to some of her videos of how she talks about Kanye. Candace and Kim in his life. Those Kardashians love to blame their ex-men. They love it. They love it. They love to blame their ex-men. Hold on. They love it. They love it. And don't think that I'm for Kanye. Kanye has said some concerning things, done some concerning things, and many people feel that how he has his wife dressing is a concern. How he has his wife dressing is a concern. I'll have to probably find that later. Let me see. Hold on. Because if I can find it, I'll find it. The Kardashians love to trend. Why are they in so many unhealthy relationships? That's the big question. Kim Kanye, Kim Chris Humphries, Kim Pete Davis, Chloe Tristan, Chloe Lamar. They're in so many unhealthy relationships. They love it. They love it because they can trend and go viral. And then they can play the victim and they can push products for people to buy those products. Buy more products, push more products so y'all can help me keep and stay rich. And then the North situation, how she dresses North, either too much being grown or she'll dress North in men's clothes. She's dressed North in how many Kanye's outfits? The Kardashians, are they okay? Are they okay? Real talk. And then you got Kylie and the Tyga situation. Kylie and the Travis Scott situation. And then they talk about good vibes, bad vibes. Literally, y'all could, if you're just not coming in, go ahead and read what she's saying. Kim wants some attention. And then you got the Kim and Ray J situation. You got Kim, Ray J situation, his allegations. You got Kim and the Kanye situation. She's blaming him for her health concerns. So it's not, your work schedule. Because remember, she did a video. Wait a minute. Remember, she did a video. Kim blames Kanye for her. Kim blames Kanye for her psoriasis. Let's get to it. Like the videos y'all come in. Is Kim okay? And then these celebrities support it and they don't say nothing.
Like Stockholm syndrome, to where I always felt really bad and always protected and always like wanted to help. And this was the first time I didn't feel that responsibility personally. I should have stuck it out. I could have helped, like this was the first time I was just like,
Kim Kardashian making a bold confession. She thinks she had Stockholm syndrome, something she realized in her split from Kanye West, and suggests the stress caused her to develop a brain aneurysm.
There's like a little aneurysm. Whoa. They're like, just stress. And I'm like, why the is this happening?
Put things in perspective, and you have no idea what it really is like until you go through it yourself. The 45-year-old making the confessions on the season 7 premiere of The Kardashians, candidly addressing her ex's bizarre and offensive behavior in the years following their 2021 divorce.
They're going to grow up. They're going to see. So my job as a mom is to just make sure that at a time when that behavior is happening is just to make sure that they are protected. As much as people think that I have the luxury of walking away and not dealing ever again, that's not my reality. This person.
She chose Kanye, but you got to remember, she was married to Chris Humphries and pregnant with Kanye's baby. She chose this life. Some of these men they choose, they're problematic. And they love it. They love the drama. They love the conflict. They love it because they'll trend, they'll go viral, and they'll play the
We have
victim.
4 kids together. It's really so much pressure. It's
Allegedly.
very confusing because
In my
we all
opinion.
this talk on the internet of like I'm keeping the kids. He's never once called and asked. But then I'll wake up and it's on Twitter that I'm keeping the kids.
He's never once called and asked. We've seen how Kanye feels about his children. Kim continues to put North in the media. That's not concerning when a father says, please don't put my children on TikTok. Please don't put my children in the media. Do you think Kim is triggering Kanye? And you got to remember, go back and look at the documentary. So she's distracting from the documentary. Because remember, Kanye said to Chris, he was yelling at Chris, which he should not do. But Kanye said to Chris, do you feel you have something to do with my mental health? And Chris said yes. Baby, when Chris said yes, the whole media should have been like, what? Kanye asked if Chris has something to do with his mental health, and Chris said yes.
And asked, but then I'll wake up and it's on Twitter that I'm keeping the kids. So it's just when it's not true and not rational, I just have to I can't engage all the time. Kim gets fired
They love to blame their exes.
up and starts addressing Kanye directly. It's a divorce, not a kidnapping. We haven't left. We're in the same spot. We have the same address, so he knows where his kids are at. What happened to the house that you bought next door? And we were gonna co-parent and do it back and forth. And you take him to school every day. I was like, have dinner with us every night. Let's have dinner as a family every night. And obviously, it was just that wasn't what he wanted. And I get that. Maybe that's
because he don't want to be controlled. It seems like a controlling environment. Look at Scott. Scott is still in the picture, staying around. He just told Chloe he wants to move. You see Chloe's face when Scott said he want to move? Well, wait a minute. What's going to happen with Mason? Scott said Mason can come with me. They like to keep the men around to help them trend and go viral. Kanye got out of that circle of control. But Scott is still there and Tristan's still there. Tristan's still there looking weird. Nobody wants to tune in to listen to Tristan.
too much. Do you ever apologize? I'm not looking for it. I don't care. It's possible Kim doesn't care.
So let's listen to Chris and Kanye and how he's going off. Hold on one second. Hold on. Did you have an effect on my mental health? They love these men full of drama. They love it.
Because she's too blessed to be stressed. Yeah, Bible. It's a great look. She's got her billion-dollar business, Skims.
And go look up the owner of Skims. Do y'all realize the outfit she just released with that brand? Look how similar. Look how similar those outfits are to what Bianca has been wearing for the last 2 years. Kim likes to copy Kanye's exes. Kim likes to copy Kanye's exes or his current girl. Look how similar Kim's outfits are to Bianca. But people aren't talking about that. Celebrities aren't talking about that.
She's awaiting bar exam results to become a lawyer. But in the meantime, she's playing one on TV in Ryan Murphy.
So she's playing one on TV. And these celebrities are sitting back, allowing her and letting her drag this man.
Here. I just have psoriasis all over my legs. That's just because you're stressed out. Well, tell the father of my children to stop acting up, and then I won't stress out and get psoriasis. I just have psoriasis all over my legs. That's just because you're stressed out. Well, tell the father of my children to stop acting up, and then I won't stress out and get psoriasis.
So,
I just have psoriasis all over my legs. That's just.
So she blaming him for her psoriasis as well. It ain't got nothing to do with your work schedule. Like I said, y'all, be careful who you marry and be careful who you have kids by. Be careful who you marry and be careful who you have children by. These Kardashians are something else. And these celebrities sit back and watch the BS and support the foolery.
What is it about Chamberlain University
Like the video. So as she's on these red carpets, going to these events, that ain't stressful. It's his fault. Okay. See, my page is a little different, and it always will be.
Kim's new confessions came in the season 7 premiere of her reality show, The Kardashians. There's like a little aneurysm. Whoa. They're like just stress. Kim blames that.
And she has to be very careful. There's many people that know people that's passed from an aneurysm. There's many people that know people that have passed from an aneurysm.
Stress on her divorce. People think that I have the luxury of walking away and not dealing ever again. That's not.
There's everywhere. Live your life, but you're on red carpets. You're promoting this. You're promoting that. You're in school, which is cool, which is good. But don't blame a black man.
My reality. This person, we have 4 kids together. 2 boys and 2 girls she claims Kanye hasn't spoken to in months. It's a divorce, not a kidnapping. We haven't left. We're in the same spot. We have the same address, so he knows where his kids are at. What happened is that you bought next door and we were going to like co-parent and do it like back and forth, and you take him to school every day. And obviously it was just that wasn't what he wanted.
No, because he got married and moved on. And go back and look at how many times she's copied Bianca's outfits.
Now she says her job is to safeguard her kids. They're going to know things. They're going to grow up. They're going to see. Many of Kim's revelations on the show came in between takes on the set of her new divorce lawyer drama series, All's Fair. Oh, it's you.
So now she has a series. I'm not promoting none of her stuff. So let's continue from the Kardashians. Check me out over the weekend. I'll do some breakdowns in regards to Chris Humphrey family called her out. The documentary shows a lot. Where's Kanye? Has anybody seen him though? I hope he's okay. So let's continue. That girl's something else. Okay, so I don't know if y'all knew this. Walmart is selling robots for 21K, almost 22K. Did y'all know that? We're just gonna talk hot topics, trending topics. Did y'all know Walmart is selling robots? Y'all better be careful putting these things in your house. And then somehow, some way, they're able to switch them and change them into something else. And you got issues in your crib. Y'all better watch it, because remember how many people said that they'll control. Y'all better watch it. There's probably some kind of chip in those suckers that they'll all be tripping out and controlling the world. Robots being sold at Walmart. We're gonna talk. It's trending all over regards to these robots. And then people are talking about Kylie too, how she was able to fool Forbes as she was a billionaire. These Kardashians are a trip, y'all. How she was able to fool Forbes that she was a billionaire. And they removed her from that list because she did not allegedly tell the truth. These Kardashians are something else. Something else. So, what else are they not telling the truth about? That her ex gave her health concerns? Kylie dated Tyga at what age? She dated Travis Scott. Now she dating Timothy to help clean up her image. These Kardashians are something else. See, other pages will kiss their behind, not me. Not me. Because that's what they want to distract from what's really going on. Let's continue. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics right now. Rob, where's Rob? Poor Rob. Do y'all remember the video where Kim got Rob to eat that pizza? Kim Kardashian eating pizza with Rob. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all what she said to him.
Hi, Robbie.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Have fun.
I'm surprised that you would get this.
I also ordered pizza and Chinese food because I couldn't decide.
I'm just confused. We were just like, we're all about the health stuff.
If this is the path you want to go down, I'm pregnant. I have an excuse. It took no convincing to get Rob to pig out on all this fast food. He is stuffing his face. I honestly feel like I could throw up.
We're all about that.
It took no convincing to him for Rob to pig out. She did that on purpose. She set her brother up to pig out, and then she made a video that it took no convincing.
Health stuff.
So you don't want your brother healthy? You want to shade him in the media, just like she does with other people around her. She wants to look like the good person, but she wants to shade other people to make herself look better.
This is the path you want to go down. I'm pregnant. I took no convincing to get Rob to pig out on all this fast food. He is stuffing his face. I honestly feel like I could throw up. Oh, what's that?
Yeah,
Hi, Robbie.
yes, Forbes should have verified the information before they released it. I don't know how they found out that Kylie lied, but somehow, some way, more documents probably came in or more numbers came in. I don't know if it's because when she try to sell it, and then that's how they found out, but they found out she had lied. And then here's Kim trying to force feed Rob, her own brother, her own love.
Dude, that's
I mean,
ridiculous.
brother.
I'm surprised that you would get this.
I also ordered pizza and Chinese food because I couldn't decide.
I'm just confused. We were just like, we're all about the health stuff.
If this is the path you want to go down, I'm pregnant.
Think about
It took no
think about how she treats Courtney. The one sister that's married, they shade her, they put her down. Courtney said, "Oh, I'm not interested in wearing heels, a bustier. I want to be comfortable." They shaded her for wanting to be a comfortable dressing mother. They shade the one sister that's married. They're jealous of her and they want her to look bad. Now you got Kim shading Rob, and you wonder why Rob don't want to be on the show. But now they're trying to get him to be on the show because the girls are taking on other projects. Now they need Rob to kind of step in. Now they need Rob to kind of step in. And then Rob wants his face every year, at least twice a year. Chloe will talk about Rob, put him on a call, and have him in on the show. And does Rob even know he's being recorded? I don't know. She don't say, "Hey Rob, I'm live. I'm recording you." Chloe tries to push Rob in the media. So you got Kim trying to force feed Rob. "Oh, I ordered this. Oh, I ordered that." And you got Chloe trying to push Rob in the media. And look at how they treat Courtney. And Courtney do some stuff, but at least she stand on business. And she tries to protect her kids. Kim don't like how Courtney works. Kim wants Kim wants Courtney to be like her, and Courtney not gonna do it. She gonna put her marriage first. She gonna put her kids first. So whenever you have a woman bumping heads, a woman that wants to love on her husband, love on her kids, the person that wants to do business is gonna bump heads with the person that puts her family first. Check them out. Certain things that Kim talk about with Courtney, Courtney don't do what Kim does. She don't. Look how they treat Chloe. Look how they treat Chloe. So they're almost basically doing the same thing to North, putting North in unflattering ways.
If this is the path you want to go down, I'm pregnant. It took no convincing to get Rob to pig out on all this fast food. He is stuffing his face. I honestly feel like I could throw up. Oh, what's that?
The manipulation. Let's continue. If you did not know, Diddy is going to be, this is the alleged release date he's going to have. It's May 8th. Diddy's release date is going to be May 8th. Like the videos, y'all come in. Allegedly, Krishan Rocks has a new man. Krishan Rocks has a new man. Krishan Rock has been trending in regards to Junior. Krishan Rock has been trending in regards to her ex-baby daddy who passed away. Krishan Rock has been trending with the new man she's been dating. So concerning of what she's also putting out. Role models, yes or no? Role models, yes or no? Continue. Fair use reaction clip. So we already know that Snap may be removed. And if they don't try and figure stuff out by today or tomorrow, a lot of DHS workers are going to have to figure out how they're going to put that back. Once it's turned off, it probably can't be turned back on just like that. So that's a concern. Trump administration removes the SNAP benefit information for official U.S. government website. So why are they removing that? Yeah, those Kardashians are something else. And then they want to blame China opens up the first AI hospital with 14 AI doctors. This is in my feed for today. How many things have we already talked about with robots? Walmart is selling it. Now China. Like the videos y'all come in. Let's listen to Governor Newsom.
In Washington, D.C. So they're sitting there in their prayer breakfasts. I mean, maybe they got an edited version of Donald Trump's Bible, and they edited all of that out. These guys need to stop the BS in Washington, D.C. So they're sitting there in their prayer breakfasts. I mean, maybe they got an edited version of Donald Trump's Bible, and they edited all of that out. These guys need to stop the BS. These guys.
So he's speaking out against Trump. Here we go once again. Okay, this is not a guy in a suit. This is humanoid robot for home. See? This is not me pushing this. They're pushing these robots for people. People don't even have money hardly for groceries. So you see the ad. This is not me showing you. This is not me pushing this narrative. This is the narrative they want to push these doggone robots. China, now Walmart selling it. This was in my feed as I pulled up documents today. Why are they pushing these robots? Interesting. I've never had so many things in regards to robots in one day. Let's continue. And a lot of jobs are going to be lost too. A lot of jobs are going to be lost due to that.
Houghton, a former flight attendant, married Robert Kardashian, a wealthy Armenian-American lawyer and entrepreneur. You may remember Robert Kardashian was on O.J. Simpson's defense team. They had 3 daughters, Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe. Then a boy, Robert Jr. 12 years into the marriage, Kris and Robert divorced. A year later, Kris married gold medal Olympian Bruce Jenner. They had daughter Kendall in 1995 and Kylie 2 years later. How do you think you were impacted by that time?
I think it definitely affected my relationship today. I think I definitely have like not commitment issues because I'm committed to Scott and we're together as a family. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of scared of marriage because of that.
Do you think you will marry him?
I'd like to someday for my children, but I'm not like completely against it, but like I know that I'm just as committed as if I was married or not married.
How did the divorce affect you, Kim, do you think?
Always in life, we always protected our dad because we felt bad for him because he didn't want the divorce. We knew it was my mom's fault and we were really well aware. So
were you aware of the affair at the time?
Yeah.
You were. In her 2011 memoir, Kris Jenner and All Things Kardashian, Kris revealed she had an affair while married to her first husband, Robert Kardashian.
Kourtney and I, for sure, we were really aware. I wasn't.
I still wasn't aware until recently, to be honest.
Really?
You weren't aware to win the book?
Honestly, I swear.
What?
But you were really angry about it.
I think to myself, like I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, I would never do that to my family. I know that she regrets it so much. I understand, Mom, because I feel like...
In 1978, Kris Houghton...
See, told y'all, another unhealthy situation, another cheating, they love it. They love the problematic situations to trend and go viral. They love it. She's been with Corey for a long time. Kris can date and be in a whole relationship for 5 to 10 years. But those girls are expected to date and find these men. Think about how many men Kim has dated. Her first husband, Nick Lachey, Nick Cannon, Ray J, Reggie Bush. That one, the Chris Humphries and the Kanye and the Pete Davis. Khloe the same way. Rashad, Lamar Odom, Tristan. All problematic. They love dating the problematic men to trend and go viral. Courtney Scott. With Scott for so long, and he had substances issues, substances problems. They love the drama men. Kylie dating Tyga at what age? Why do y'all support financially give them money to support to make them richer when they're pushing a narrative? Kylie dated Tyga at what age? Then the other people she dated, Jordan, Jaden Smith, other people, and then the Travis Scott situation, and then she had to date Timothy to help clean up her image. This family is something else, and there is a different owner in regards to in regards to Skims.
Marry a woman and then turn around.
Go watch that. She's trying to do the Janet Jackson. There's certain words I have to watch what I say. She's reacting the Janet Jackson situation. What's up with her neck? Her hair used to seem more healthier back in the day. I could say something, but I'm not. Okay, so Amazon plans to replace with robots. This I'm telling y'all, this was in my feed today. Them pushing this robot stuff. Be careful. They're saying what situation? I don't know what you're referring to. But yeah, this robot narrative is being pushed. Be careful. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs over these robots.
Fat funky bitch with these diamond porcelains or something. That bitch need to go get his shit done every year if you ask me. Don't send me a motherfucking thing.
I don't really care for cursing. Here we go again. This is in my feed today. He's cleaning the child's room. Y'all definitely better not let no robot near yourself or your children. Be careful about that. They can flip out and do whatever. If it's at the workplace, let the workplace control this. You better be careful letting this thing around your house, around your wife, your child. No way. Clean up your doggone self. Oh, he getting the stuff off the table. Okay. This is the narrative that they're trying to push, not me. This was all in my feed. How many? What was that? Number 4? Okay. South Korea President Trump golden crown. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Y'all remember the situation where Wendy and her husband Eddie was alleged for uh, fraud in regards to claiming things on their insurances. So Wendy, if y'all don't know, Wendy recently spoke out stating she wants the arrest dismissed because I don't know, did they read her rights? Girl, these celebrities will do a lot to trend and go viral. So y'all gotta be careful. Remember how Karen had her situation and Karen was trending? Karen was trending a month before these alleged things happened with Wendy. Karen was trending a month before the alleged situation, because remember, alleged that Wendy and her husband alleged that their house was broken into. And allegedly, once the neighbors heard that her house was broken into, they allegedly knew it was alleged fraud, insurance fraud, alleged. You'll take a cleaner robot, that's on you. I won't. Okay.
The students here, find your voice.
Okay, so recently this week, I want to say yesterday, Turning Point had an event. Many people are calling out what happened to Charlie Kirk. Many people are calling out what happened to Charlie Kirk. Everybody needs to pay attention to those videos and what happened at that college. Videos being shown, a man jumping over the table. So many concerning things happen. A man taking down the camera. A man video recording himself saying Charlie got injured. And then him stating that he is no longer on earth. The Turning Point people are being called out. Why are they not pushing in regards to if there was an additional people that did XYZ to Charlie? And this is the other thing, many people probably don't know. The alleged students at the event are being silenced. They are not to put out videos. They are not to speak about what they saw because it's being alleged they want the gentleman who allegedly did XYZ. I got to watch what I say. They're trying to give him a fair trial. Why is the picture that's shown of the guy looks different than the other guy? The different outfits, the guy he went to some restaurant. And then people that deal with GUNs, they're saying there was no way he could disassemble a GUN that fast. So there's so many, and Candace Owen is talking about this situation. Whether EMS doctors there allege they're the ones, his security are the ones that took him to the hospital. Why was there no EMS on campus, an EMS vehicle? And then allege Charlie was concerned that somebody might want to take him out. Why wasn't there more protective measures to protect him? Bullet, having him in the building. Why was there more protective measures to protect Charlie if Charlie was concerned about somebody trying to take him out? If my husband was to speak or be in an event, or my boyfriend was to speak and be in an event, I'm going to have more protective measures to protect my husband. As a man, he should have had more protective measures for himself if he felt that there. Go over to listen to Candace. I've been listening to another guy break down everything Candace has been talking about. Candace has been talking a lot about Charlie. Candace has been talking a lot about Kanye. Candace has been talking a lot about Turning Point. Be careful of certain narratives and what narratives are pushed. Why are they not concerned? And why are they not? Why isn't Turning Point making videos and talking about the different angles of what happened with Charlie? Why are they not? They're moving on like nothing happened. And then the campus submitted over where he got injured. You got people that's stepping on chairs. You got people removing cameras. People are questioning this whole situation. And then people are allegedly being silenced. One guy posted videos and he was trying to work with I don't know who he was trying to work with. I can't claim it. But there was a guy that's trying to work with certain people. He's stating that a lot of his videos from his own phone have been deleted. He got stuff on hard drives though. Why isn't Turning Point speaking up of what was there a possible more people? Could there have been more people that possibly? And you got to remember there was cameras in behind Charlie. And if you look at the videos, there's cameras, I don't know if it's on the right side or on the left side of Charlie. But this whole situation, why are they asking more questions? Why are they silent? Where was his funeral? Why did his hands look like that? So they're moving on like nothing happened? Is that not weird to y'all? They're not asking questions. His show is not like, send us videos. Let's hear from people. Why is that not happening? Is that not weird? When you really think about it, why isn't his show saying to people, send us videos of what you saw? Don't show that. Send us videos of what you saw. Send us videos of what you heard. Send us videos of what people were feeling that day. Is that not weird that his own page isn't asking questions about what happened that day? They're moving on like nothing happened. Is that not weird? His own show is not asking questions. Let's hear, hey, call in. Let me know what you saw. Let me know how you're feeling. Why are they not doing that? Why are they not asking more questions? Why? And then allege, they were saying that they're going to look at more of the conspiracy theories, but then I think they're saying they're closing the case out. Why isn't his team asking more questions? And why didn't he have protective measures around him? Why wasn't he not in? If you look at the video of what happened that day, there was a building he could have been in, still speaking with the campus people. Why wasn't he not inside that building, still speaking with the people? Because Because when you scan, I did a video on it. I did a short. Go look at my shorts when this whole situation happened. When the situation happened, everybody in the building, because it's right above Charlie, or on the side of Charlie, but there's a building that he could have spoke to the people. When this situation happened, there is people that staff that's ducking down, but then there's a man that's standing up looking at everything that's happened. He don't seem to have any fear. He's scanning while everybody else in the room is ducking down. He's looking around. What? And this is the biggest thing. Remember how their team had said, they had asked Erica, how much does she know? And she said, I know everything. So it's interesting that Candace is fighting more than her. Candace is pushing out a narrative more than her. Like the video, 24 likes. That's crazy to me. And that's why my algorithm is weird. We got to get better on the likes. We got to get better on the likes. Why? I would question, why would a wife not be speaking out more than a friend? Candace is pushing out different narratives. I can't confirm or deny, and this is be very clear. I can't confirm or deny what Candace is pushing is real or fake. I can't confirm or deny the narrative that Candace is pushing is factual. But she's giving messages. She's talking to Charlie. She's showing messages. She's questioning the friends. But the wife is doing not as much as Candace. A friend is speaking up more than what happened to her friend. And they want to push out certain narratives to these young people. People mourn in different ways, but they're silencing allegedly 3,000 plus students that they are not to show videos, they are not to speak about this case, they are not to speak about what happened. There is a gag order that was just ordered, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, allegedly. Either it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, a gag order was ordered for everybody that was at the event there to shut up and not say nothing. No show, no videos, don't talk about it. You are being gagged, not to say anything. And they probably put out some kind of whatever. But go check out, there's a judge that put out a gag order that the people that were there are not to speak with media. Why are you gagging people that was at the event? So much concerning stuff. Them covering the area, the man taking down the camera. Who does that? Who affects a crime scene? What's really going on? Why isn't his team saying, show us this video, show us how you feel? They moved on like it didn't even. Let's move on like nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. So you got Candace pushing a narrative. I'm listening to other people, but then I'm listening to this other guy that's spitting some kind of. I get what he's saying, and he breaks it down like nobody else. That kept me up last night. That kept me up this morning. So it's interesting how people are being there. There's a gag order for them to shut up and not speak about the case. Was there one? Was there two? Is he the only one? When you allege at ChatGPT about what happened that day, they're saying the messages seem weird. I wasn't there. I'm just wondering why the people that were there can't speak up. Why is there a gag order for people that's there? And then there's different pages that break down what she said. There's different pages that break down what Candace said. There's different pages that's breaking down what his team has said. One of the guys was on the phone, whether he was on the phone with his dad or whether he was on the phone with Erica, then he goes behind and he's talking to he's TikTok, and he said they just took out Charlie. I gotta watch what I say. They just took out Charlie. They just took out Charlie, and then he's the one that's stating that he's no longer with us before they could say. But then people are saying, oh, his neck caught XYZ. But then you have GUN men that running tests in regards to like gelled figures, and the thing is not, you know what I'm saying? So there's many people that I can't confirm and deny if they run a test, if things would expand. I have to watch what I say. But there's a lot going on. And there are men that are questioning Um, they're questioning a lot that when they hunt, that's what I can say. When they hunt, certain things happen when they hunt with the particular GUN that they use. So there's that. There's a lot going on. And okay, you're saying why didn't any security pull? Why didn't any security pull out their own? Like as a safety measures, if more were to come out versus the one, I get that. Yeah, they were attending to Charlie, but they were saying too, where was EMS? Where was EMS? Where was the EMS truck? And then one of his own people said they passed the EMS truck. Why would you do that? Why would you not have him be seen? If EMS is coming towards you, you should have stopped to let him be treated. But many people are stating, allege that he might have been gone immediately once that hit his body. Yes, I remember how the orange guy, had said something that Charlie had said. How were you able to avoid? You know what I'm saying? Go back and listen to what the orange guy said that Charlie said to him. How he was able to be still here. I have to watch what I say. YouTube is so fickle. Trump had said something about how he was able to still be here, and Charlie had said something to him in regards to his ear being, you know what I mean? But there's so much going on. If you're going to be speaking at places, you've got to protect yourself. This is the other thing too. They were stating that there wasn't a lot of security in regards to bag checks, not a lot of drones hanging over. So there's that. There's that. Why isn't Turning Point, you know, doing more investigations and asking questions? Hi, if you want to, send us videos, if you want to talk, if you're struggling, what happened to the husband, if you want to talk, you know what I'm saying? Why aren't they doing that? They're moving on like whatever. Here we go again.
Washing, does dishes, and factory work. It is so close. You have no idea how close AI is to taking over. It was also tested recently in a BMW factory assembling parts, which is mind-blowing. It's also being tested in factories where it has to identify packages it's never seen before. But that's no problem for this robot because it can identify an object that it's never seen before just using the AI power within it. It can manipulate the packages and find out what's going on with it, scan barcodes. Everyone's focused on large language models like ChatGPT, but the real revolution comes with robots just like this and the advancements that they're making so quickly. This was the same robot back in 2023, and now it's even better. With upgraded walking capabilities, lifting, identification, experts say that robots will be commonplace in another 5 years. We'll see them everywhere. They'll be inside factories doing work that humans used to do. And it seems like humanity is somewhat delusional when it comes to advancements of AI and robotics in general, thinking that their job is safe for some reason. But not only are they going to take away those physical jobs, they think better than us. That's been proven with large language models. So what do you think? Is it something that we should be worried about, or is it just another robot that's been overhyped?
Yeah, I don't have a problem him being at the workplace, but you got to be careful having stuff around your family. Real talk. Yeah, the robot pulled the plate. Okay, you guys, I've been live for about an hour and 48 minutes. I only have 28 likes. We got to change something. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. The more likes, it pushes me into the algorithm. The more likes, it pushes me into the algorithm. With 28 likes, I've been giving y'all some TTT. We talk hot topics, trending topics. We're talking about these robots. This has been in my feed today. So be careful what you put around yourself and your family. Do whatever you want, but don't come complaining that XYZ happened. But I guess if you want to protect your home, that's another reason why some people may do it. But if you want to protect your home, but don't think that we might not hear videos that the robot lost it. Okay, so protect your family. Be safe. Be smart. But if there's a situation, you better make sure you better have a switch that can cut that sucker off if he start going crazy. Okay? Huh. So, thanks for being here. I did my fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Do you, but be careful when it comes to things around your family. Who's on some stuff? Nobody's on some stuff. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do none of that stuff. So I don't know if they're talking to other people. But the biggest thing in my comments, I don't like people disrespecting me, and I don't like people disrespecting people in my comments. So if I see it, I'll say something. But if you are being rude, go on your own page and do you. This is what YouTube is. Yeah, you always got to be careful on certain people pages. I don't like to be disrespected, and I don't like people to disrespect people in my comments. So I'm different over here. I do these videos for you guys to update you on hot topics, trending topics, what's going on. So thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate everyone. Have a great day. Be blessed. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.